Hi, my name's Clara, and I'll be talking about winter storms. The particular winter storm I'll be talking about happened in February of 2021, from the 10th to the 19th. It impacted many states in the northwest, central, and eastern part of the U.S., but had the biggest impact on Texas. Temperatures dipped down to over 40 degrees below their normal winter temperatures, all the way from Nebraska to Texas. They even hit 15 degrees Fahrenheit at some point during this winter storm. All this Arctic air caused widespread power outages in Texas, as well as other southern states, with multiple days of sustained below freezing temperatures. At the peak of the outage, nearly 10 million people were without power. Additional impacts were frozen water pipes, which burst upon thawing, causing water damage to buildings, as well as the direct and indirect deaths of more than 200 people in Texas alone. Excess snow and ice also had negative impacts across numerous states, including Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, and Tennessee. This has now become the costliest U.S. winter storm event on record. The 2021 winter storm cost around $24.5 billion and killed 262 people. While over half of the winter storm-related deaths were due to extreme cold exposure-related injuries, hypothermia, and frostbite, 19 people at least died from carbon monoxide poisoning due to trying to heat their homes with their cars. Over the past 20 years, only 8 of these billion-dollar winter storms have occurred. The number of storms doesn't really seem to be increasing or decreasing over the past 20 years. However, there were no winter storms from 2002 to 2009, and all of the 8 winter storms that have occurred in the past 20 years started from 2010 onward. Over the past 20 years, the total cost of billion-dollar winter storms has been around $39 billion, and there have been around 379 deaths. The main condition that causes this type of natural hazard is a cold front. Winter storms begin with moist air rising up into the atmosphere, just like other types of storms. Rising air is common at a cold front, and cold fronts also tend to be steeper and faster than warm fronts, which cause them to bring more violent weather. In the case of the 2021 winter storm, the polar jet stream or vortex dipped farther south than it usually does and brought an intense cold front to the southern states. Some conditions that occur because of cold fronts are cumulonimbus clouds, extreme winds, precipitation, and temperature drops. Climate change definitely played a significant role in the 2021 winter storm. In this case, the polar vortex can be affected by the warming of the Arctic as a result of climate change. When the Arctic warms and the ice melts, the polar vortex winds are weakened substantially. This causes these winds to stretch further south than they have in the past. In turn, the Arctic areas are warmer than they usually are, and these southern areas are being hit with more intense cold fronts brought down by the polar jet stream. While a combination of factors did come together to create this natural disaster, global warming's effect on the Arctic and polar vortex definitely played a factor in the extreme storm. Other than climate change's effects on the polar vortex, there weren't really any human factors that caused the weather to be so horrible, but the effects of the winter storm were made worse by the southern states' unpreparedness for such conditions. The southern states could have prevented a lot of deaths if they had been more prepared for the extreme conditions that winter storms cause. However, because they don't normally get such extreme cold temperatures and weather, they were not ready for it. There's a lot that humans can do to stay safe from extreme winter temperatures and weather. We can insulate our homes and water lines so pipes don't freeze and no water supply is lost, and pretty much just use common sense. If there's going to be a big storm, stock up on food, water, and necessities. Make sure your house is well insulated from cold and wind, and buy emergency heating equipment and try to stay inside as much as possible. With climate change only becoming more of a problem, we will continue to see more of these extreme weather conditions and storms. Hopefully in the future we'll be more prepared, and so less people will be affected by these storms.